So, this is going to be a video about my level 87 Summon Necro. Alright, so let's get into it here. So, the Summon Necromancer, or Summonmancer, or whatever you want to call it, um, it's a pretty cool build. It's like, I mean, it's just totally unique in the game. Like, you know, the idea that you kind of field your own army. Like, there's just no, there's, obviously the druid has summon skills, but there's just, nothing like it. And, honestly, it's one of the characters I play least, but it is actually is one of my, like, best built characters. Like, I expended a lot of resources on this guy for whatever reason. But yeah, and it's sort of fun to play, and also at the same time maybe kind of boring to play. Like it's obviously a very different experience. Like it's kind of relatively passive. You know, it doesn't take a lot to do, and it's also not particularly like gear dependent. I mean, I think you could have real crap gear and make this build work like very well. Like I don't think it takes much to make it hell viable at all. But anyway, let's get into my gear. So, like I said, this is one of the more expensive characters I've made. Alright, so you'll see that I have a Arm of King Leoric. Your best option, obviously, is a beast. I didn't have the burr rune to make a beast. And honestly, if I found a burr rune, I would probably put it towards something else at this point. But this is your second best option. Obviously, you can make a beast. Go ahead and make it. And I think maybe one day, eventually, I'll put a beast on this guy. But this is what I've got for now. So Arm of King Leoric, pretty obvious what makes this good. It's just huge skills, like ridiculous. 2 summoning, 2 poison and bone, which you actually do is useful. 2 raised skeleton mage. 3 raised skeleton, 3 skeleton mastery. So, and 108 mana, which is nice because this build does use a lot of mana. And 10 faster cast rate, which is, is useful as well. Okay, so the gloves. Mage Fist. So here's the thing about Mage Fist. You might think that you want to use Trangul's gloves because it gives like necro skills and like cold resistance, and why not, right? But here's the thing. Mage Fist is, to my mind, definitely the better option because fire skills adds, and I didn't really know this until I made the character, but fire skills adds 1 to Fire Golem, and it also adds 1 to Corpse Explosion. So you can see that, it adds 1, which I didn't know it would do. Honestly, I was kind of just using this low level until I could get put on Trangs, but then I found that out. So yeah, these are definitely your best bet, and plus the mana regen is nice. So let's go over here to the boots. Again, these are actually, I found a bunch of these, and it's just like, how could you not use them? Like 2 to skeleton mastery, like it's just made for this fucking build, And mana regen, that's fine. Other than that, it does give life tap charges, but obviously you're a necro. There's like no point for that unless you for some reason want to life tap for your minions. But I never use it, but potentially useful. Yeah, that's it gives some stats. It gives some strength, which is nice, but you don't really need it. You especially don't need the dex. Helm, Shaco. I think it's I mean, unless you have some kind of a crazy circlet, like, maybe, necro skills and faster cast rate and like blah, blah, blah. If you're going crazy like that, I guess that's maybe the best in slot. But I think Shaco is actually probably the best you can do. 2 all skills, life and mana, straight bonus. Mana, again, very useful. Damage reduce, which is nice because, you do actually get hit once in a while. Believe it or not. you know, just various things. But yeah, Shaco, I put a 15 all res jewel in mine rather than an Umrune, because an Umrune, you know, you could use for other things. I don't know what I'm going to use an all res jewel for. That is the and okay, so let's go to shield, homunculus. The reason I use this, you know, there's that other, I forget what it's called, but there's another one that will give you 3 to summoning, which would give you another skill point. But the reason I use this is basically for the resistances. You know, that's the only thing about this build, is it's pretty hard to get max resistance. And fortunately, you don't really need it because you're not going to get hit that often. But sometimes you do get hit by you know, like range characters, black souls, and stuff like that. So the resistance is pretty important. Plus the mana regen. So I have pretty good mana regen on this guy. And then Enigma. So Enigma, by far the best armor for this build. You know, it keeps your minions together, 2 to all skills. The teleport keeps your minions together. It's really the big thing. And yeah, and 2 to all skills. You know, Enigma. It's Enigma. We all know. It's crazy good. Arachnid. I use a Wisp. The reason I use this is, first of all, so it gives a little lightning absorb, which is nice because, like I said, you do get hit by black souls, and you don't want to die like that. And I actually do use the Heart of the Wolverine. I do summon that. It dies pretty easy, but you know, you can just resummon it again, and you know, it does help your minions. It gives them damage and attack rating, and I don't know, does it give attack speed? No, I don't think so. Amulet, you could use like anything for an amulet. I found this, which I thought was pretty nice. 2 to summoning skills, 10 faster cast rate, all resistance 9. You know, I don't use the Dex or the Mana Stolen. But one day, if I do get a beast, I will actually use this 10 faster cast rate, which is nice, which is kind of why I have it on. Plus the all resistance, you know, it's good. So I will eventually, hopefully, use that faster cast rate, so that's why I have that. And then the cool thing I have here is the only Stone of Jordan I've found in my life. So yeah, I do have a Stone of Jordan on this character, which is pretty cool. Like, the only thing you need, like I said, gear is not a big deal for this character. Like, you could just use the crappiest stuff, but like, it really should have plus skills. Like, just do your best to get plus skills. And so that's the gear. On Switch, you got a CTA. Obviously, you have minions, like, super useful. Let's go to my Merc. So I put a Vamp Gaze on him. I don't know why, just so he wouldn't die. You know, just like, yeah, you know, he's probably not going to die because he doesn't get hit that much, and maybe it'd be better to put a Gauleams, but like, I just didn't want him to die because he's very important. Like, he gives all your minions a Might Aura, and also he gives them a Thorns Aura, because I do have a Bramble on this guy, and which is pretty nice. It has a nice hit recovery, and like I said, you know, has some Fire Riz, which is good, and so it's a pretty decent. Bramble's pretty decent armor, actually, but the main thing is it gives your minions thorns, so when they get hit, they give damage. And then I have a Tomb Reaver. There's no real reason that I have a Tomb Reaver on this guy. Honestly, it's just kind of like the theme, like the whole thing that there's a percent chance to reanimate. Like, I just thought that was, like, cool. Plus, you know, I don't want to put... You cast your own curses, so I didn't want to put a Reaper's Toll on him, so he'd be overriding my curses. And, but, you know, you could put, like, anything on here. I just thought this was, like, kind of cute for the fucking theme. But, you know, I mean, hell, it's a really good Merc weapon. Gives all res, life after kill, life stolen. I mean, I put an Amrune in it, you know, for that, you know, 3 sockets, so you can customize it quite a bit. I don't know if the Eth rune does anything, but, you know, what else am I going to put in there? I don't know. So, yeah, so that's the gear. Let's talk about the skills. So, summoning, so max skeleton mastery, max race skeleton, max Raise Skeleton Mage, and I choose to max Fire Golem. And then you put, you put 1 into these other things. Some people would max Revive rather than Fire Golem. Honestly, Revive to me is kind of a pain in the ass. Like, I don't like it that much. I very rarely actually summon Revives. They die after 3 minutes no matter what you do. Increasing the level doesn't only increases the monsters that you can raise, and like I just have enough monsters. Like, it just gets ridiculous when you have so many monsters, I guess you could have something like 37 revives, but I just prefer the Fire Golem. It provides another source of elemental damage, and it's a pretty good tank, and I just like it. I just liked it better. You could choose, I would not choose Iron Golem or Blood Golem. Some people would choose a Clay Golem because it has like huge, ridiculous life, just like crazy. But I choose for the Fire Golem because it has like, look at the life, 4,000. Plus I have a CTA. Like, the life is high enough. And anyway, you can just resummon it at any time. And so it just gives more elemental damage. So it's actually nice. And then 1 into Summon Resist. And I kind of just put the rest into Golem Mastery. But yeah, you get a lot of leeway. Like, these 3 you should definitely max, but all the rest you have like quite a bit of leeway with what you want to do. Let's go to curses. So amp damage. This is like huge. Like, this is your skill. Every minion you see cast amplify damage, like 100% of the time. That's what you do. One of your most important skills, other than besides your summon skills. And I do get a point in Decrepify. You could skip this if you want. I would say amp damage is a lot better than Decrepify. One of the big reasons is that amp damage has a huge area of effect, like much larger than Decrepify. Decrepify is useful mostly for when you're killing Bale, and not even like his minions, but Bale himself. In the combination of your cold mages, your mages that do cold damage, and putting Decrepify on it, means that Bale will like stay in place. Like, he'll never move. The big thing when you're killing Bale, and maybe I'll do a Bale run just to show you, but the big thing when you're killing Bale is he'll shoot out those like cold triangle missile things, and they'll push all your minions back, and he'll teleport around. It's just a pain in the ass. If you put Decrepify on him, he'll try to teleport, but he will never actually do it. If I'm not explaining that, I'll show you. So here's what I do. So generally I go to Crystalline Passage just because it like keeps things centered. So then I cast that, and then I cast my Golem, and then I do that. And then I go to Frigid Highlands. Again, amp damage. And they're a little slow at first, but get one. Or you can use a Corpse Explosion. Oh yeah, I should talk about Corpse Explosion actually. And you can see I'm using a lot of mana. I'll talk about Corpse Explosion in just a minute. Then I'll go down here, generally. Kill these guys. And yeah, so you literally just like stand around and summon stuff. You can see I can have up to 15 skeletons, which is like a lot. It's kind of a lot. It's pretty good. I only have 14 skeleton mages. Okay. Oh yeah, let's talk about Corpse Explosion real quick. So Corpse Explosion, oh yeah, and I put a point into Bone Armor. You should always cast that as well, actually, I forgot. Because that actually will, sometimes you do get hit, and that actually will absorb an attack or two, so that's nice. Corpse Explosion is like, it's just, and I put a point into Bone Wall. You don't really need that. I thought it'd be useful. Maybe if you're under geared, it'd be useful, but I really never use it. So Corpse Explosion. Corpse Explosion is like, I mean, it's just, it's pretty overpowered probably, but like, dang, like, it is so good. You could honestly, I think it would be a hell viable build to literally just have a merc and like even 1 point, or you can max corpse explosion, and I think that would honestly be a hell viable build because it's that good. You know, a level 6 skill. Just get a merc and your level 6 skill, 1 point. You could have just 90 unused skill points, and I think it would honestly be a hell viable build because that is how good corpse explosion is. I mean, it's. Oh, should I keep that? Maybe I'll keep it. But yeah, it's that good. Oh wow, look at this. Okay, so try not to get poison damage on yourself. See, I did get hit somewhere, but like, this is what you do, and you see how useful teleport is for this build. I mean, it just keeps everything together. Sometimes teleport. Sometimes you want your minions a little bit spread out, but sometimes you want to kill something, and you just teleport right on them and they get them. You know, sometimes you really want to do that to get rid of a minion who's like causing you problems. So that's a good thing to do. I just have a bunch of crap in my stash, nothing good. But yeah, you just walk around or teleport around and cast amp, get your minions on them, run away. But yeah, like I said, this is it's a pretty. It's honestly a pretty cheap build. Not my gear, but like if you want to have a hell viable, like Summoner Necro, like I would recommend like a Trangle's armor, which is pretty easy to find. Oh, it's kind of nice. Maybe just like a +3 summon skills amulet. Maybe like a +3 helm, or even a peasant crown would be nice. It's nice to have resistances, but you like don't need it. Homunculus is pretty easy to find. Arm of King Lyric is pretty easy to find. Mage Fists are easy to find. Marowaks are pretty easy, but you don't really need them. Arachnid is not that hard to find either. Like if you're mana finding in hell for any amount of time, like you probably can. Like I found a bunch of Arachnids. Like I have like, you know, I have several characters that use them, and I have like 4 just like unused on mules. Again, like I don't even use Corpse Explosion that much because like when I use it, my minions have like nothing to do. But seriously, if they're in a group together, as soon as one minion dies, you can use Corpse Explosion, and like it just creates this cascading effect where it does so much damage. It kills maybe 1 or 3 more, or 1 to 3 or more minions, and then you can just, you just keep going and keep going and keep going. Just everything dies. Like, so all you need is your merc to kill like one single monster, and then it's like, and then you're done. The only thing that is annoying about Arm of King Lyric is that, see, look at that, it's just like done. Kill one. The only thing is that there is this bone prison when struck, and that is, it's a little annoying that like you'll get, because it casts right on top of you, so like it's a little annoying that sometimes you'll get stuck with that. It's especially annoying if you don't have an Enigma. What is this shit? Yeah, it's crap. If you don't have an Enigma, then it'll be especially annoying because you can't really get out of it sometimes. And there've been a couple times before I had made the Enigma for this character and I was still using Triangle's armor that I actually died because I was like, I got caught in my own bone prison and just like, you know, souls or something killed me. And oh man, so yeah, okay. I probably should have hired, not hired, but raised some revives there. So okay, so let me show you the Decrepify thing. So you see, he's got cold damage on him, and when he jumps around and he jumps around and jumps around. All right, so let's put Decrepify on him. All right, one second. Okay, so if you put Decrepify, he will never move. He'll take damage at a slower rate than if you had amp damage. But look at this, like, so he will cast those things, but he'll never teleport. For whatever reason, I find when I'm doing my Necro Summonmancer, like, he teleports a lot. You know, I guess it's because you kind of tend to stand far away from him, but yeah, he'll teleport a lot, and it's just a pain in the ass. So if you put Decrepify on him, he'll never move. And it takes a little while, but this is how you do it. Look at all the little swords from your minions there. And yeah, so this is what you do. But yeah, so it's a it's really a pretty cheap, hell viable build. It's not like the summon, like, it's a cool build, but it's not like particularly good at anything, you know? It's not like super great for magic finding, but like if you're trying to just get through the game, like, I mean, it's definitely an easy one to do it with, I would say. You could probably do it with, like, honestly, your minions don't die that much. Like, I very rarely have a minion die. Of course, I have, like, CTA and all that shit, but, like, even before I did, like, your minions have pretty good health once you get all those bonuses maxed and you have summon resist on them. And so it's like, it's pretty good. It's really pretty good. But yeah, that's, you know, that's the build. My charms, I've gotten pretty lucky with charms. I have three summon GCs, two of them with life, you know, luckily enough. Then I have two poison and bone. Poison bone, you know, it's good. It increases your corpse explosion, increases your bone armor. So those are both good. I had a curse GC on this for a while just to like fill shit up, but you know, your curses. I don't know if this is true for every curse. It's probably not true for like lower resistance or whatever. But for amplified damage, you know, the extra levels, all they do is increase the radius. They increase the radius and the duration, but like, you know, I have enough plus skills that I don't need to add any more than 1 point into this, and you know, and I mean, you know, you probably will never, no matter how shitty your gear is, you will probably never need to put more than 1 point into amp damage, because like, what else do you have to do except sit back and cast amplified damage on stuff? So like, no matter how small the radius or the duration, like, you know, it's a little convenient to have it longer and bigger, but you know, you could easily work around that. So my other stuff, like, I just have like random like life mana and then resistance small charms, and you know, so yeah, so that's it. It's like pretty cool build, like pretty unique, pretty fun. But you know, it's a very passive play style. You know, you just sit back and just cast your Corpse Explosion, cast amp damage. The only thing that's like, there are a lot of skills like to toggle around. Like, so there's a lot of like, you know, so it's kind of like you're just like managing stuff. You're just like managing the amount of summons you have, and you know, making sure things have amp damage on them, and you're kind of just like yeah, you're just like a little manager, just like making sure everything's going smoothly. And but yeah, pretty easy to play, pretty cool build. And so yeah, that'll be it. I might be making some more videos. Like I'm starting a Fury Druid, which should be cool because I have a Cranium Basher that I found a long time ago that I'm finally going to use on him. So that should be a cool build. And yeah, but yeah, by no means do you have to like expend all the resources that I have on this character to make it hell viable. Like it can be a very cheap build. Like I said, Triangles, Peasant Crown, just whatever. This is easy, that's easy. But yeah, so that'll be it for this video. See you later.